you know, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. I mean, could you imagine if you're Tom Aspinall listening to that? Could you imagine? I mean, we know that no one from the UFC was with him at the hospital. We saw that on his video blog. Could you imagine how this guy must be feeling on this Monday? Everyone calling him into question, his heart into question, because he got poked in the eye multiple times. One of them knuckle deep, and his promoter is saying Tom didn't want to continue.
Dana White has officially turned his back on Tom Aspinall, and the MMA world isn't staying silent. After UFC 321 ended in chaos with the eye poke controversy, fans expected Dana to stand behind his interim heavyweight champion. But instead, he did the complete opposite. At the post-fight press conference, Dana White not only refused to defend Tom, he went out of his way to praise Ciryl Gane. He called Gane's performance incredible and dominant, saying he blooded up Tom Aspinall and that Tom chose not to continue. Not a single word of support. No mention of the accidental eye poke that ended the fight. No acknowledgement that Tom was in the hospital, getting his injured eye examined and dealing with serious pain.
And laid there on his back until John submitted him. Against the cage, Gane was sat there, not moving, not bucking, not shifting or fighting hands, sitting there like this until John locked up the guillotine on him. I'm very aware of what happened in that fight, and do I wish Tom would have finished him earlier? I do, without resistance. That was the ideal circumstance for Tom Aspinall, was to finish Ciryl Gane with no resistance in the first round. I think we see an overconfident Gane in the rematch, and I think Tom smokes him, but Tom was raging. So there's an emotional aspect to this rematch now that I'm worried about, because I've been looking for Bully Tom to make an appearance for a very long time, you guys. For a very long time, I've been waiting for Bully Tom to make an appearance, and he made the appearance on, what the fuck you guys booing me for? He genuinely made an appearance in the post-fight speech. The fuck you guys booing me for? I got fucking double eye poked. A double eye poke landed. Insane. Crazy. Horrible result for the main event. Worst case scenario. All things come together. It's weird how MMA works, is it not? Dirtiest fighter on the heavyweight roster, Ciryl Gane, constantly cheats every single fight. He's a dirty little French cunt. John Jones is the nemesis of Tom Aspinall.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. I mean, could you imagine if you're Tom Aspinall listening to that? Could you imagine? I mean, we know that no one from the UFC was with him at the hospital. We saw that on his video blog. Could you imagine how this guy must be feeling on this Monday? Everyone calling him into question, his heart into question, because he got poked in the eye multiple times. One of them knuckle deep, and his promoter is saying Tom didn't want to continue. Not Tom was fouled with an illegal strike, multiple illegal strikes. Let me ask you a question. If that happened in some alternate universe to AJ, to Anthony Joshua, what do you think Eddie Hearn is saying? Eddie Hearn's probably still at the hospital with him. That's the difference. That's what I talk about. How do you think Tom feels on this Monday? Do you think he wanted it to end like that? Do you think that Tom was saying to himself, you know what? I got a bloody nose. The going got tough here. Peace out, guys. I'm out. Again, the fight wasn't as one-sided as people want you to believe. Yeah, I know it was weird that he was bloody. And yeah, I know it was weird that he was losing a round. We never see him lose rounds. We never see it go past the 2 minute and 2 second mark. That's his fight average going into this fight. But do you guys really think that he was looking for a way out?
I'm mad, and I don't know who I'm mad at. I'm either mad at Ciryl or I'm mad at Tom. Something about this, though, was very off. Look, the fight, they were kind of getting to know each other. They were kind of feeling each other out. Tom did everything right, by the way. He came out there, he threw the big bombs, but Ciryl was slipping.
What he does when when his first plan of action doesn't work, what's he checked down to? Is he gonna wrestle? Can he compete with Ciryl Gane on his feet for 25 minutes? And I don't get any of those answers, and just like everybody at home, I'm disappointed.
Being poked in the eye is illegal, Brendan, but to fight with one eye is very common.
They've done that on the UFC broadcast, by the way, and humiliated Ciryl Gane for what he was fucking doing. That doesn't happen by accident. And you can hear Aspinall's team, what the fuck is this, a double poke? I just think Ciryl Gane's a dirty fucking cheat. I'm disgusted in that, like. I'm fucking disgusted. Because you can fucking take someone's eyesight for life doing that shit. All because the pressure's getting you and you're feeling the hate. What the fuck are you doing in there? There should be a fine in the suspension for that level of shit, in my opinion. Because if you're going to fight like that, you're going to fucking blind people. But let's take a look at what Dana White had to say.
And instead of offering support, Dana's out here publicly burying him. This is the same Tom Aspinall who's been one of the most loyal, humble, and respectful fighters on the entire UFC roster. He has never disrespected an opponent, never taken shots at the organization, and has always shown gratitude every time he stepped inside the octagon. But Dana White's attitude toward him feels personal. Ariel Helwani went off online, calling Dana's comments irresponsible and an embarrassment for the UFC.
Damon and Mike Heck were having a conversation, and I read the transcript, and Mike Heck was very hard on Chael. Now, Mike gets a pass because Mike always backs Chael. So the fact that Mike was saying, hey, Chael, you got this right, it kind of made me listen. I kind of pay a little bit more attention because I know how supportive he has been. And Tom's stock going down. Let's take a look at that. So let me give you some numbers, okay? Numbers don't lie. My partner's DraftKings had Tom at one point, and it was, you'd have to check the chart, it was a spike in the graph, but they had him on fight day a 3.5 to 1 favorite. It did not close at that. But Tom actually went up, became a larger favorite after the face-offs at the weigh-in. Okay. When the fight goes off, he was actually inside of 3 to 1. Well, let's just call it 3 to 1. When my partners at DraftKings come out with a new line for the fight that is eventually going to take place, it's going to be close. There will be times, I mean, if they were to do it today and money starts coming in, they take action, that Ciryl could be the favorite. Try to imagine that. So when we talk about Tom's stock dropping, that's a very tough claim. I mean, on those hands, a guy that was a 3.5 to 1 favorite that is now the underdog, you'd think that his stock dropped. But the anticipation to see Tom versus Ciryl was very small, guys. That pay-per-view did not do.
Pointed out that Dana never once mentioned Ciryl Gane's role in the incident, even though Gane had already been warned twice for keeping his fingers extended and ultimately caused the eye poke that ended the fight. Instead, Dana appeared to protect Gane, even praise him, while throwing Tom under the bus. Many believe this tension comes from Dana's growing frustration with Aspinall. Just a few weeks ago, Tom said that if his close friend, Andy Delia, ever joined the UFC and they were matched against each other, he'd rather vacate the title than fight him.
Do you think that Tom was saying to himself, you know what? I got a bloody nose. The going got tough here. Peace out, guys. I'm out. Again, the fight wasn't as one-sided as people want you to believe. Yeah, I know it was weird that he was bloody. And yeah, I know it was weird that he was losing a round. We never see him lose rounds. We never see it go past the 2 minute and 2 second mark. That's his fight average going into this fight. But do you guys really think that he was looking for a way out? And again, I bring up the topic that I brought up last week, and I bring up the topic that I've been bringing up ever since I've been sitting in a chair like this, talking into a camera like that. This notion of intentional versus unintentional is the stupidest shit in sports. Period. Period. You don't hear it anywhere else. Let me ask you guys a question. Yesterday, I'm watching the New York Knicks against the Miami Heat. Crucial juncture of the game. Knicks are down like 8 or so. They have the ball. Josh Hart gets called for an offensive foul. Illegal screen. Do the referees converge and say, like, did he mean to do that or did he not mean to do that? No. A foul is a foul. Ball goes the other way.
Because it went a few minutes. It doesn't mean in any way, shape or form here that Tom Aspinall was struggling. He fucking wasn't. Ciryl Gane's a good technical fighter. He was making it more difficult to catch him. But it wasn't like he was dishing out loads of punishment just because Tom had a bloody nose from a punch. Fucking Floyd Mayweather had a black eye from fucking Deji. A little bit of damage when you're in there throwing big fucking fists at each other is going to happen sometime. It does not reflect the way the fight is actually going. A little bit of blood. When, as long as you can breathe out that nose, you are fine. And it's this context that in the MMA and fight world, people just fucking ignore for some reason.
I saw Tom Aspinall on there land some nasty stuff too. I saw Tom Aspinall throw a high kick. I've never seen him throw a high kick, and it's partly because he's never had to throw a high kick. There are layers to these guys' games that we have to find only when they're fighting someone that not only deserves to be in there with them, but can extend them to a point where they have to use all of their weapons.
I mean, look, DC knows MMA. I'm not going to say he's talking total shit there, but I think if Tom Aspinall is being experimental in there and showing us things that he's not showing us before, I don't think for 1 second it's because I'm going to struggle here. I need to throw a high kick. I've never done that before. I don't think that's in his mind at all. He's so comfortable in there. He is showing more of his skill set that he has said he's been working on in the last year.
It was a significant eye poke. It wasn't like a little scratch.
Yeah.
It was, they went in. They were proper eye pokes, and Tom clearly was in a lot of pain. There's people saying online, well, he was saying multiple times, I can't see. If he wanted to continue, he shouldn't be saying that. The reality is, if he can't see,
Tell the truth.
if you can't see, you're allowed to say you can't see. People might point to me and say, well, you fought with one eye. Yeah, that was a secret because I shouldn't have been fighting. You know, Tom is the champion of the world. He doesn't want to go out there when his vision is impaired or vision is massively affected and potentially lose a fight that was shaping up to be a difficult fight. Ciryl Gane was on point tonight. He was looking good. We saw the damage on Tom's face. This was not an easy fight by any stretch of the imagination. He didn't want to continue with his vision damaged or not being able to see, so I don't blame him. The crowd were upset. I get that. They were frustrated. They've flown in from other countries. They've spent a lot of money. They've bought tickets, and the fight ends like that. I don't think the frustration was on Tom. I think the crowd was just annoyed at the situation.
Something Dana viewed as a direct insult to the promotion. Adding fuel to the fire, Tom's father, Andy Aspinall, said in a recent interview that he doesn't want Tom to re-sign with the UFC once his current contract ends, claiming boxing would bring him more money and better respect. With all that tension building behind the scenes, it's no surprise Dana White's patience finally ran out. But this isn't the first time we've seen this story play out. Francis Ngannou, Nate Diaz, Tito Ortiz, every fighter who's spoken up or pushed back against the system eventually found themselves on Dana's bad side. Now, Tom Aspinall is being labeled as someone who quit, even though video footage and medical reports prove otherwise. He literally couldn't see. He wanted to fight, but his body wouldn't allow it.
What is he doing?
The left one was really deep.
Both up.
The left one was really
Both
deep.
up. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
You got
but
one twice before it.
Yeah,
Twice before he got one for it.
Mike Bisping, he lost his eye, and it's just a horrendous thing to think as a parent, really. And I know what it's like these days with people saying what they want, but if it's just your son and they could lose an eye and their health and they've got children to look after, you know, something needs doing about it. Yeah, it's horrendous for me to look.
Dana White once again chose to protect his brand instead of his fighter, and the MMA world isn't staying quiet. Analysts, fighters, and fans are all calling out the hypocrisy, saying Dana only wants company men, not real champions. And with Tom's father openly suggesting that his son's UFC career may soon be over, this could turn into one of the biggest mistakes a promotion has ever made. Because if Tom Aspinall walks away, the heavyweight division walks away with him.